Welcome back to the Jacked Racing YouTube channel. Welcome back to the shop. We're getting ready for our next race at New Smyrna Speedway this Saturday. We've got a lot of things to do, so let's just dive right into it. Obviously, we have to fix the steering. We were waiting on some parts that have now shown up. Take a look at this nice, pretty new steering box Dad's holding. We ended up getting a nice, sweet box. It's one of those things we could have just kept buying cheap ones that were going to break, or we could just do it right and get the good box. It's got a quicker ratio than even the last one we put in. So now our steering is going to be a little quicker. It might take a few laps to get used to that, but I'm pretty confident this is going to be the right thing to do long term, especially at the quarter-mile tracks, because it's just no fun having to turn the wheel that far. So we're going to get the steering system all hooked back up. We've got some work to do on the rear end. We've got to get the half-mile chunk back into the rear end, and then we're also going to try and straighten out the rear end because it's a little bit bent. Not enough to cause any huge problems, but we'd like to get it straightened out. So we got an idea on how to do that. We'll see if that works. And then we got a couple of odd and end little chores to do to get ready to go, but let's get to work and get ready to go racing. I can't really move it.
Get this upper one up here. The upper one.
Oh, that right there. Yep. Oops. Almost. Oh, now that bottom one has started.
Okay.
I think that one started. Okay.
I think they're all started.
One other thing we're going to work on here is the angle of the steering shaft. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed, but this steering shaft has always had some kind of funky angles in it. It's kind of, kind of like up, down, up. It's had way too many bends in it. So we're trying to figure out how to get this thing to go straight without changing the angle of the steering wheel too much in the cockpit. And I think we've got it figured out where all we're going to have to do is drill 2 holes right here in this mount. And that's going to be kind of a happy medium here. It's going to keep this line a lot straighter so there's only one bend in it. And it's actually going to make it, I think, a little more comfortable for me in the truck because it's going to put the wheel at more of a level area to my arms rather than having to reach up. So I think this is going to be a big win-win. It's going to get one more angle out of the steering arm, and it's still going to give us good clearance right here from the control arm. It's just going to be a really good thing to do long-term, and all we have to do is drill 2 holes. So easy and effective. So you can see right here, this bolt right here was moved all the way in here. So basically this was all the way up against where the hole in the tab here is. So we slid this out a little bit because, as you can see right here, the steering arm was actually rubbing on the frame, and that's just not a good thing to have happening. So just by moving this bolt a little bit, we were able to get it off the frame. Now we're going to drill some holes right here in this mount, so it's going to raise the steering shaft up instead of being down like that. It was actually kind of rubbing on this metal right here too. So if we can get this raised up a little bit, it's going to take it off of there and keep it from rubbing on here. So this is just going to fix so many problems all at one time, and all we have to do is drill 2 little holes. That looks so much better now that we've got it positioned where we want to. That thing's not going to rub on the frame anymore. We've got the arm hooked up to the box here, and it's pretty much ready to go. Right now we're going to get some fluid into the box, and then we will get the rest of the linkage hooked up on the bottom side, and then the steering system should be ready to go. One other thing we're doing before we fully reassemble everything is making sure we get all these lines flushed out. We don't want any sort of debris getting into that nice new steering box. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but if you look into the reservoir here, there's a magnet in there, and that magnet has a ton of metal shards on it that this thing has been collecting, probably from that box we destroyed last week. So we're going to make sure we get this whole thing flushed out, get all that debris out of there, run some cleaner through these lines, and make sure everything is nice and fresh. We're going to put some nice fresh fluid in and make sure everything is just brand new so this steering system lasts as long as possible. If you've been watching our channel for a while, you remember we started out with a 4-cylinder last year and we sold that car a couple months ago. The new owners of that car took it to the track last night, and unfortunately things did not quite work out for them. Let me show you what happened. This kind of hurt to watch. Hopefully they'll be able to get that car back together. It had a lot of bracing in the front of it, so hopefully that wasn't any sort of terminal damage. I think it'll be okay. I saw a picture of it after the race. Hopefully they'll be able to get it back together, but Oh, watching that little car smush into the wall like that hurts deep, you know? That was a good car for us. I do miss it, but this thing's pretty cool too. Alright, we got everything hooked back up. All the linkages are hooked up. We've got fluid ran through the lines, through the box, through the pump. Everything's been flushed out. We got this all mounted up a lot better. Now it's time to start it up and make sure it all works. It was way faster.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot faster, I could tell.
I hope it's not going to freak you out. But
No.
I think you'll get used to it.
I'll get used to it, yeah.
Especially on the short track, you'll love it.
I will. New Smyrna, it's going to be just like cruising. I'm going to have to turn it like that much and it's going to go.
Checking lots of things. As you can see, timing wise, there's no issues. Should be right on the mark there. I also hooked up a vacuum gauge. It's a little better. That you can do with a carburetor, and that is if you suspect that you're getting too much fuel, you can try turning down the idle screws. You can see the RPM actually went up a little bit there, and even when I turn the idle screws all the way in, it smoothed out, right? I've got the idle screws turned all the way in. The engine's just died. We'll go back and look at this. We got still got a big split from one side to the other. So my suspicion is we've got fuel coming from somewhere where it shouldn't be coming from. And so we're going to have to do something about that. So this is what surgery on a carburetor looks like. I'm taking it down to every last nut and bolt. The good news is these Holley carburetors are really simple, lots of common parts, and it's easy to both disassemble and put back together. Those are all the parts that came off the main body, and then over here we've got the main body and then the throttle body. And so doing a lot of cleaning, making sure all the passages are clear, and then we'll put it back together.
Doing a little bit of family craft time here. Mom got a Cricut recently and has been learning how to use it, so of course we had to try it out with some new stickers for the race car. So we're gonna throw our YouTube channel ad up on the windshield here, try and get some more people at the track to see it, and then everyone who's gotten their name on the back of the truck is gonna have it in a nice sticker now instead of just my crappy handwriting. Is that straight?
It's pretty good. Yep.
We'll see how well this vinyl holds up when I go 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Supposed to be permanent, we'll see.
I'm gonna need a stool or something. I'm not tall enough for this.
Do you wonder why your neck hurts all the time?
Yeah, sure do. I think I know.
Oh.
Here, I got it. I'm a little taller than you.
Don't drop it down.
I'm not gonna.
It's just
I won't.
Like right there.
Is that gonna be okay, Mom?
Do you want it in the middle, or how do you want it centered?
Kind of like. Is that okay?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Start on your end and actually start in the middle and then take it to the end.
Huh?
Why'd the end get wonky in there?
I don't know. That just didn't.
It's on a rivet, huh?
But when he's going a million miles an hour, no one will know.
Yeah, no one will know.
Race car paint jobs are 20-foot paint jobs.
Oh, yeah. That's looking good.
Well, it looks like we're ready to go for New Smyrna Speedway this weekend. Hopefully everything's going to be running better. I think we're going to be in really good shape this week. The steering is going to work. It's going to be quicker. Hopefully it's going to be easier to drive. We have a pretty good idea of the setup after last time there. I'm sure we're going to tweak a couple of things. I know the caster camber wasn't quite right last time we were there, so we'll get that set up right. Make sure everything's good to go. We'll get the Hoosier tires back on. Hopefully all the carburetor tuning and everything is going to work well. And this will be a fun weekend, so make sure you subscribe. Don't miss any of the action. Catch us this Saturday. Well, the video will probably be out Sunday, but keep your eyes out, see some racing action. We'll see you at the track this weekend. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.